Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Always Compete Seahawks podcast. I am Mike. Sam could not be with us today, but today was a very sad episode. Today we're going to be talking about how Bobby Wagner has signed with the Los Angeles Rams. Now, obviously, I want to just preface this before we get into it. For those people who have been on Twitter and Instagram and whatever saying, "Oh, F you, Bobby, I'm going to burn my Bobby jersey." Don't do that. Don't do that. Nothing can take away what Bobby has done for this team, for this city. He has been nothing but awesome on and off the field since he was drafted here in 2012. So nothing he can do from here on out will ever ruin his legacy as a Seattle Seahawk. That's number one. Number two, he, unlike maybe a Russell Wilson, did not ask to leave Seattle. He was cut. So didn't have an option there. And then once you're cut, obviously you're free to sign with whatever team. His hometown is in Los Angeles, so I'm sure that was a big draw there. And obviously he gets now play the Seahawks twice a year. And who doesn't want a little revenge? Another thing is this is very reminiscent to me of the Richard Sherman case back in I think it was 2018. We cut Richard Sherman after he had his injury, went and signed with the 49ers, his hometown team as well. Got to play the Seahawks twice a year. And obviously, recently I think there's been a lot of animosity between the Seahawks and Richard Sherman. He was very vocal about how his departure was, let's just say, not smooth, and how he feels that the organization could have done a lot of things better. But that's a totally different story for another day. That's Richard Sherman. So today we're going to be talking about Bobby Wagner now on the Rams. We're going to talk about his contract, why he couldn't make it work, why he couldn't come back to the Seahawks maybe, and all that type of stuff. So before we get into it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. You guys have been absolutely killing it lately. We really appreciate all the support. If you like this video, make sure to like it and comment what you guys think down below. What are your opinions on Bobby Wagner signing with the Rams? Do you like his contract? We love reading through you guys' comments and getting your opinions. So with that out of the way, I guess my first thought when Bobby Wagner signed with the Rams, I wasn't surprised really. Like I said, he's from Los Angeles. The Rams don't have a stud middle linebacker. They don't have like a Fred Warner and Eric Kendricks, anything. So linebacker was definitely a need for them. And they're a team that literally is a Super Bowl contender. I mean, they're literally the reigning Super Bowl champions. So obviously they're going to be in contention for that again this year. They've had some losses, but nothing too significant, right? They still got Stafford, Kupp, Aaron Donald, Sean McVay, still the coach. So they're definitely going to be in contention for the Super Bowl next year again, which I think that was something that's really big for Bobby. He did want to go out and win another Super Bowl, and I don't blame him for that at all. Obviously, the Rams are a perfect team, so just those two reasons alone, really kind of solidified why he wanted to go to Los Angeles, which I can completely understand. I think another reason that Los Angeles is a good option for him is, again, you get to play the Seahawks twice a year. And while I don't think he has any hatred towards Pete Carroll, John Schneider, whoever. It would feel nice to, ball out twice a year against the Seahawks, and show them why they were wrong for cutting you. I mean, obviously I don't blame Bobby for that at all. It's like showing your college degree to that old elementary school teacher who said like you wouldn't be shit. It feels good. It feels good to rub it in their face a little bit, and show them. So I totally get that. The last I had heard about before today, which I'll get into, I brought up Richard Sherman earlier. He kind of connects a little bit more. Before today, the running favorites were the Ravens and the Rams. Obviously, those were the two teams. And I was really trying to convince myself that he was going to sign with the Ravens. But deep down, I just knew he was going to go. He was going to be a Los Angeles Ram, which sucks, obviously, but it is what it is. So, going back to Richard Sherman for just 1 second. Richard Sherman last night tweeted, I have big news about Bobby Wagner. So when he tweeted that, we kind of knew that an announcement was going to come this morning, this afternoon, like sometime today was going to come an announcement. So we figured out, obviously, that he had signed with the Rams. And for those of you who don't know also, Bobby Wagner is his own agent. Bobby Wagner is not represented by anybody. He negotiates his own contract. If you remember, like 3-4 years ago ish when he got his extension with the Seahawks. It was a big thing because he negotiated that himself. He negotiated that, I believe it was 3-year, $54 million extension all by himself. Um, it was reported, I think he talked to Michael Jordan about it or something. Like, I mean, it was a big story, and the fact that he kind of was his own agent, I think is something really really cool. And while this is a whole nother topic for another day, I think it's interesting to take a look into athletes representing themselves and how that could be, um, how that, like, maybe that could be a trend going forward, because we see, a lot of, I think we've seen a rise in the popularity of that tactic. But again, that's a story for another day. So today, got the news he signed with the Rams, signed for 5 years, $50 million, with the potential to make $65 million. So I think the first thing that sticks out to me is the years, right? 5 years, it's kind of a lot. I was not expecting him to get a 5-year contract. I was expecting two, maybe three, maybe four, but five to me is kind of a lot. Think about it like this, right? Bobby Wagner is 31 right now. He's going to be 32 in June. That means if it goes all 5 years, that when the contract ends, he's going to be 37 years old playing middle linebacker. It's doable, but middle linebacker is kind of one of those positions where I think it's similar to corner, where your body is just so beat up, especially at linebacker. Your body's so beat up, you're bumping into things so often that your body might break down a little bit. Like with corners, obviously they get older, they're a half step slower, whatever. It's harder to keep up with guys like Tyreek Hill and all them. So he's going to be 37 when his contract ends. My guess would be that, and I don't know the exact details of the deal, I would guess there are some voidable years, maybe, or maybe it's team friendly to cut him. My guess would be that after 2 or 3 years, he probably gets cut by the Rams and or retires, however you want to look at it. But I don't think that he is going to be getting paid $10 million until he's 37. Now, a couple of interesting notes there with the money. With the Seahawks, he was getting paid about $18 million a year, which is a lot for a middle linebacker, yes. Now it's about 10, so it's about half of what he was making. And I think that this kind of shows that the Seahawks did not think that he was worth $18 million. And I think that was a consensus, is that, this guy's getting a little older. He's still a very good linebacker, great leader, but he's not really worth $18 million anymore. Cleared a lot of cap by cutting him. He was worth about, $10 million right now, which is what his contract is. I think that's probably fair. And, we'll see how that works with the Rams. Honestly, I think middle linebacker was an issue for them. I think their middle linebacker was Troy Reeder. The fact that I can't even pinpoint who exactly it was is kind of a big thing, but they run a lot of one linebacker packages with their defense. They like to get very creative with Morris over there as the defense coordinator. So I mean, we'll see. Having a guy like Bobby Wagner, regardless of how old he is, will just make your defense better. He's so smart. He's such a veteran. He knows what's going to happen before it happens. And when you have Jalen Ramsey at corner, you have Bobby in the middle, and then you have Aaron Donald rushing the passer. I mean, that's just a nightmare scenario. That is absolutely a nightmare scenario. And while I don't think Aaron Donald and Bobby Wagner are in their absolute primes, they're still really, really, really good football players. They're guys that you have to scheme around. And so now the Rams are just terrifying, right? In terms of, I think, why he didn't return to Seattle on a deal like this, I think it's for two reasons. You saw earlier in the week, John Schneider was asked about it, and he kind of said, it's not in the plans. Like, we're probably not going to bring him back. And I think from the Seahawks side of things, that's probably for two reasons. A, to save money, because right now we have about $15 million, and assuming he would have got a similar deal, we wouldn't have $15 million, right? And like me and Sam have said in past videos, we think that we're going to go out and sign another free agent or two, probably a corner, to use that money on. So they probably decided we're going to use this money here instead of using it to bring back Bobby. That's number one. Number two, guy by the name of Jordan Brooks. He's the guy now. He is going to be the leader of that linebacking group. Pete and John have mentioned how they really, really like Jordan Brooks. I thought he's awesome as well. I think he showed a lot of improvement last year. They also mentioned a guy like Cody Barton. They said that they trust Cody Barton. They say he's a great leader. They're in love with Cody Barton. So clearly they feel pretty good with what they have in Jordan Brooks and Cody Barton at linebacker. So we'll see how that plays out. I wish Bobby nothing but the best, but I just can't bring myself to root for the Rams. I'm sorry. In the case of Russell Wilson, like, yeah, I could root for the Broncos, but I just can't root for the Rams. However, assuming the Rams do go back to back, at the very minimum, Bobby would get another ring, and that would bring a little joy to my heart. So I think that's going to wrap it up for you guys. We just want to update you on the Bobby Wagner situation, obviously, because he's so important to the Seahawks. Update you, kind of give you my analysis of what went on over there, why he did it, how he did it. But like I said, let me know what you guys think. Love hearing your comments. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like it. I will see you guys later. Peace out.